1, 2, 3. Living in the shadow. Sometimes I wanna cry. So I'm living in the shadow. Sometimes I wanna die. No, it ain't easy. Just trying to get by. So I'm living in the shadow. Now ain't no lie. At the time I was working on St. Catherine Street, it was a place called Neon. I had a great job, and I had a good woman at the time, and I got a phone call one day, and she told me she was pregnant, and she gave the kid up. So I literally walked off the job that day. I went right across the street to a strip club, just a place where I could just drown my sorrows, basically. And I started drinking. I had $3,000 in the bank at the time, and I drank my $3,000 down to $5. And then when I had $5 left, I said, well, I got nothing else to lose. I went and bought a plastic gun, and I went and robbed the bank.
Through the eyes of faith, we see the fullness of the reality in which we live. We can see beyond the shadows, and we can hear the stories of people in a new light. These are the community ministries of Ottawa.
So close your eyes and pick one and read it.
Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it.
Whoa!
Good message.
In the sweetness of friendship, let there be laughter and sharing of pleasures.
Oh, that's a good message. Should I do one too?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what mine says. Gratitude is the best attitude. That's what I have you guys here. So, oh, Matilda wants.
My mom disowned us when I was 4 years old.
I was a product of the system. They were always trying to find me a place where they can keep me. But everywhere they tried to put me, I wasn't happy.
My mother was an accountant, and I followed along in her footsteps, basically, and I became a corporate tax auditor.
Every Sunday we'd go fishing. That's the experience that I got with my dad. That's the pleasure I got going fishing with him. It was the highlights of my life, was fishing with my dad.
Wasn't easy. I got pregnant by a 47-year-old man at the age of 14. I was alone. I got into drugs, needle using, and I had to give up my child due to my drug use.
I had an illness called vertigo. It sincerely pulled the rug out from under my income, my apartment where I was living. In an instant, I was homeless. It seemed that fast.
And that's what changed my life. That one, I don't blame it on it, just the way I reacted. I didn't know how to deal with it. Can't talk to my friends about that. What are they gonna say? Oh, get over it, Mike. They would have told me like, oh, how many abortions their girlfriends had or something like that. Well, no, that wasn't the case for me. That was probably the first time it ever happened to me, and that was enough. So that gave me my first 4-year sentence. Any way to escape the reality, man, I'm gonna take it. You know. And at the time, we're thinking anything that burnt had alcohol in it. And if you're in prison, if you get a hold of anything that's like alcohol, then you're gonna try anything, because it's a pretty desperate situation, you know. I drank windshield wiper fluid in prison, and that's how I lost my good eye. Now I'm just limited to shadows within about a foot. No colors, no nothing, just either light or dark shadows.
Being on the street and doing clients for my drug abuse. You never know if you're going to get out of a car alive. Being abused while you're doing it. There's There's all kinds of pain out there. And I don't wish it on anybody.
Ottawa is a great place to live. It's got so many resources and brilliant things about it. But sometimes I think that perhaps the majority of people that live in Ottawa don't necessarily realise that there are also people who are discriminated against and marginalised and are living in poverty.
The Community Ministries of Ottawa, being 5, we work very collaboratively. We all work towards a common goal.
Yes, we're responding to crisis, for sure, absolutely. But in some ways, we're putting down a foundation for people so that they don't go into crisis.
And so really, it's about who are you, what's unique about you, how do we meet you where you are, and say, how do we be part of you moving forward to where you want to go next.
Every single person that comes to us has a gift to give, has a story to share, and we are providing space for that to happen.
Our chaplain describes the well as God's kingdom on earth because she sees on a day-to-day basis the sort of joy that people can experience, even if only for a few hours of their day.
We serve breakfast and lunch 5 days a week. We have access to computers, access to a variety of mental health workers, addictions workers. We try to every day put a smile on their face by having fun. All of those things that people do with friends, we do under the roof at St. Luke's Table in order to improve the quality of life of the participants.
We offer them a place to have coffee, chat, play euchre, play cards, get to know the staff, build a relationship. And it's usually around, the 3rd or 4th visit when they start asking, maybe I should talk to a counselor. Maybe I do need help with ODSP. Maybe I do want to get into the participant skills program.
One of the things that has happened over the development of the community ministries is that we have developed some ministries especially for women. It's really about home. It's the creation of home and a place to belong. So you can come and stay with us for a while at our shelter, and we're going to be sure that you're okay. But we're going to be helping you to look for a place that's going to be a permanent home for you.
The Ottawa Pastoral Counseling Centre offers support to all the different working people, all the different people in the different community ministries. So if they're on the front line dealing with crisis and homelessness and poverty, we're there right beside them saying, what can we do to support you to do the amazing job that you're doing?
Any one of those people that walk through our door, I could be that person, It wouldn't take very much.
It's the right thing to do and the moral thing to do to provide for everyone, every person that lives in Ottawa.
These are God's people, just like us. And what are we going to do for God's people? Well, I'm going to do absolutely everything I can, and I'm going to want to ask everybody to be doing the same.
Do you ever wonder what lies inside that little girl who never cries? She walks around with bloodshot eyes while her soul slowly dies. Tormented by visions of her screwed up life, wondering if things will ever get right. During the day, she walks around with her head held high, while at night she wonders why she's still alive. You can change your life and change your ways, but the pain, the memories, the scars remain the same. How do you face your demons you've suppressed so long without medicating your brain to keep you strong?
I was actually on drugs, and I came in to ask for help rather than seek rehab. And so I come here for guidance, and I do get it.
Listening sounds like a simple thing, but it's not usually. We're not usually very good at listening to people at all. I find that it's like slicing something really thin. In the beginning, when you're learning to chop up the Sunday roast, you chop it in big, thick slices. But as you get better, the slices get really thin. And when you listen in thin slices like that, you hear all kinds of things that you didn't hear before.
I've been abused by so many men in my life. So when I found Laura in the shelter, Cornerstone, that's where we met. When we were drug user, like hard, and in and out of jail all the time. And Laura gave me an ultimatum, drugs or her, and my love was stronger. I was lost and alone. And if it wasn't for her, I'd be still out there, using, dying. So she's my lifeline. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here.
Our challenges are to finding places like the Center 454 who help people who are in need of, whether it be financially, emotionally, or just companionship. The Center 454 will help you out in many ways and set you on your way, hopefully, to a positive path.
OPC sees a wide variety of people. There might be people who are having trouble paying their fees, and we do have a fund that can be used to help people who are in straitened circumstances. There's people who we might see who are wealthy people, who in spite of having a lot of security, don't feel the security at all. The people that I work with are what makes the work worthwhile. They're faced with all kinds of problems, and they're always working hard to solve them. And they're just like me, and I feel with them and for them, and I admire them.
These people, they don't do it for the money. They don't do this for the money. They really, really care about us. And it shows, you know. This is not an easy job. They got to deal with some pretty special characters. Everyone's got their own, you know, vices or whatever, problems. And they are really professionals. They deal with everyone so coolly, and they have a lot of respect from everyone around here. And this is probably one of the best places I've ever been at.
I don't feel comfortable at any other drop-in.
No.
I really don't. I mean, here's the only one where
you don't see the drugs.
Yeah, it's not right in your face. It's not, the women are a little more respectful than a lot of the other places you go to. Here I find it's more like a home, a family or whatever. And if this place wasn't here, I'd probably stay home. I don't know where else we'd go to talk.
No.
For any reason, if Cornerstone had to close their doors, it would mean the end of my career as I know it. I would be back on the street looking for a place to sleep. Our community would be at a great, great loss.
Sometimes we forget working here that every other place isn't exactly the same. And we get used to the awareness of our clients as spiritual beings, as beings who, whatever their overt faith or lack of faith, are meaning-making creatures. And there's lots of good stuff that happens elsewhere. But what I feel we carry uniquely is that the ground of our work is this understanding of the human being as more than someone who's adapting to his situation or her situation, more than somebody who's trying to fit into society, but as someone who has built into their being a need for meaning, a need for significance, a need to be recognized as greater than just a human animal. And I feel that this place holds that awareness all the time.
Part of what we do within our community ministries is strive to keep people safe who otherwise face peril. So we offer shelter, food, counseling, support services, and we strive to transform unjust structures in our society. And we provide safety, places to call home, to be in community, at peace, to celebrate, laugh, and encourage. Place to be safe. For the love of God, there is light beyond the shadows.